Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you.
The rebirth of the signature hotel overlooking Pittsburgh's Point State Park sure did have its share of labor pains, from an ownership change to construction that proceeded in fits and starts. But now the work is done and the Wyndham Grand Hotel is open for business. Tom Hemer is Director of Sales and Marketing for the Wyndham Grand, and welcome. Good to have you here.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Beaver County native, got to come home and have a leading role in sort of bringing this hotel back into full operation, right? Yeah,
it's been challenging but fun and fantastic all at the same time.
Yeah, well, it is a signature. There's a great history to that property. Everybody's seen it there right on Point State Park.
Yeah. Anytime you see a photo from Mount Washington, anytime you see Steelers are on TV, Pirate game, inevitably you get a nice shot of Point State Park, and fortunately for us, we're right there.
Yeah, and millions of dollars of renovations now complete. I guess the Odyssey all started when what? Hilton sold the property?
Yeah, Conrad Hilton built the property and operated
part of the first Renaissance. It goes all the way back to the 1950s.
That's right. That's right. For approximately 50 years, it was a Hilton, and they decided that they didn't want to be in the Pittsburgh market, so they sold the hotel, and that started the odyssey of renovations and whatnot. But fortunately, that's behind us now. We completed a portion of them in 2013, finished up the remainder in 2014. So no more fences, no more dumpsters. We're ready to roll.
Yeah, well, and a big new addition on the front of the hotel, and I know that's where most of the focus was, and it was tough while it was under construction, but having been in there, it is really a cool new space in Pittsburgh with incredible views of the park.
Yeah, we were always the biggest hotel. Our grand ballroom was always the largest, but we never really had that dynamic room where you would want to hold a wedding or a large gala or something with some style and pizzazz to it. Now we have that. So there's 30-foot windows that overlook Point State Park. So it's been fantastic, very well received. And a great story is that we finally got our occupancy permit at 10 a.m. and we had an event in there at 1 p.m. that day.
Oh my gosh, wow. Well, it has to too. I think about conference business, corporate business. You never really had a space of sort of that size and scale. A lot of the meeting rooms were kind of smaller and sort of tucked away before.
Yeah, our grand ballroom can house up to 1,500 people, and then our smaller rooms were more for 100 or 200. We didn't have that sweet spot, so you nailed that right on the money, that 500, 600 person meeting or event, it's perfect for it.
Yeah, without having to cut up the ballroom, and I guess some clients don't really like that feel.
Exactly.
So and there's actually now an indoor pool too?
Yeah, there's a swimming pool, there's a hot tub, and we expanded our health club, and there's actually views from those downtown, a little bit of Point State Park too. So the renovations were meeting space, and the health club swimming pool, and a little bit of our lobby too.
Okay, right, yeah, the lobby's sort of been dressed up. So, so how's it been going? It's finally done, but there was a lot of angst during these years of construction, and I'm sure that had to have been hard on business, so while all that was going on.
Yeah, it was very difficult. The hotel lost customers, and justifiably so, while the renovations were, ongoing. But we've been very successful recently in getting them back to the hotel. We want to show them, look, we're done. All of that's behind us now. And a lot of the customers that had been at the hotel are coming back and having successful events. And so our focus has moved from not only trying to get them back, but raising the bar and bringing the hotel back to the high level that it had established, and I think we're there.
Yeah, the market has gotten very interesting here in Pittsburgh since it all began. I mean, the Fairmont Pittsburgh opened in the middle of it. You've got some other first-rate players, and you got lots and lots of limited service hotels that have sprung up.
Yes, we do.
Good or bad to have this sort of abundance of rooms and competition in town right now?
Well, that's a great question. As a native Pittsburgher, you look at it and you say, wow, this is great to have all of this building and these new jobs in the city. As a hotelier, it's new competition for us, but we're a true convention hotel, and there's only a few convention hotels in the city. So some of the smaller hotels, they impact us, but not significantly. So, we're trying to get large associations, large corporations, things of that nature, and so it's a little bit of a different dynamic.
You're playing in the space with the Fairmonts or the Omnis or the Westons and those, so that's a much smaller group of hotels that are serious in there. There has been some talk now about finally building the convention center hotel. I imagine there's a little bit of good and bad for you as well if that project ultimately proceeds.
It's a great question and I think a great debate because there's some validity to having a larger hotel and the ability to attract conventions.
Bigger conventions presumably would fill more of the hotels more regularly.
Right? But the real question though is what happens when there aren't conventions. You now have 500, 600, 1,000, whatever rooms it is in the market, on top of 800 to 1,000 that are joining us in the next year. What does that do to the business? Is everybody going to survive? It raises a lot of questions.
Well, it's an interesting time to come home to get to run a property like this, huh?
It's fun, and I shared with you a story growing up in Beaver County. I've known this hotel, and now being on the inside of it, it's fantastic.
Well, congratulations to everybody involved for finally getting it finished, and it is beautifully done, and hopefully it'll be a great success going forward. Tom Hemer with the Wyndham Grand.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll be back in a minute with little dollars and cents. Stay with us.